Hello all and welcome to Fergi time at fantasyfootballhub.co.uk with the Game Week 4-week deadline. Game Week 4-week? Game Week 4 deadline. Just 1 hour away. Just when you think FPL could not get any crazier week on week, the international break said, hold my beer with a whirlwind of transfers, injury news, and the immortal question of whether Cristiano Ronaldo will start or not against Newcastle this afternoon. Spoiler alert, I've made my transfers. I made them late last night because I wanted to get some sleep. I will reveal my team in a few minutes' time. My name is Fergie, and for any new watchers, you are very, very welcome. If you haven't subscribed to us yet, please press the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen and set the alerts so you don't miss any of our content right here on this channel. Also, please press the like button if you enjoy our content. It would be much, much appreciated. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Jordan Cole says going to be hiding behind the couch just for the United team news alone this afternoon. Good morning, Brian Schofield. And MW1 asks, will DCL start? Should I go DCL or Jimenez? I'm keeping with Bruno for now. I've got to be honest, I would probably go for Calvert-Lewin personally on penalties now as well, just to add to his appeal. Fantastic fixtures. I do think Jimenez is a good option. I just think that the Calvert-Lewin just plays for a better team, scores more goals, so I would go for him personally. Good afternoon, Kazim Chima, and Adam says Ings and Bruno out for CR7 and Jota for -4. Would you do it? Spoiler alert, that is the exact move I have done. So I would do it, but it's up to you and how it fits in with your team. Sivert Pettersson, bench Rafinha or Ben White. You've got to bench. Oh, what a tough one. I would bench Rafinha in that one personally, but I do think from next week, Rafinha looks a fantastic option. Good morning, Jan, Wayne Robinson, Ben Hugh, Ib Sadat, Mab Nappy, Cars. Good morning, everybody. Great to have you with us. If you do have any A or B final dilemmas, please post them in the chat and I will try my best to answer as many as I can. And like I say, I'll show my team in a bit. I've actually taken a -8, which I'll show you in a bit and try and explain the rationale behind the madness. Sujan is going with Traore. What's your take on this? Well, if you watch the Green Arrow on Tuesday, I am very, very high on Traore and Abzirak. Those of us who went without Ronaldo hiding under the sofa this afternoon. I hope you've got a big sofa to hide under it, but absolutely, it's going to be tough if he starts, because he is basically, the best. Well, one of the best players in the world, one of the greatest who's ever lived with a plum home fixture. If Ronaldo didn't have Newcastle at home in Game Week 4, I think we would see a lot less transfers. But he's actually seen in close to 2 million transfers in the in the international break. So nearly a quarter of every single player playing FPL. I've never ever seen anything like it. Good morning to Elliot Essex. Good morning to Josh Strange and everyone else in the chat. Bit of team news. Well, no, not team news, sorry, injury news, courtesy of FPL News. So we saw yesterday that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said that Ronaldo will be on the pitch at some point. So this is the big talking point. What does that mean? He did say it with a little bit of a, he did kind of stumble and stutter through it as I'm doing now, but he did kind of say along the words of, he will definitely be, on the pitch at some point. Big news is Cavani wasn't with the travelling squad. So I think I just don't see any reason why Ronaldo wouldn't start personally. Fit as a fiddle, played 96 minutes against Ireland. And Solskjaer yesterday in his press conference was almost trying to convince everyone that it was the right thing to play. He was like, he's played all his minutes for Juve, he's played into the national break, he's trained this whole week, and then he said he might get some minutes. I personally think he starts. I've brought him in, which I will show my team in a sec. Akshat, Ronaldo and Torres in for Bruno and Ings. I think it's a good move. I think I prefer Jota. So I've gone for Jota, just with the news that Firmino is definitely missing Game Week 4, likely miss Game Week 5, I would guess as well. Liverpool's fixtures are fantastic. Torres, you've always got that slight rotation risk. Leicester's not going to be an easy game today for Man City. And they are home to Southampton every Game Week 5, which is a fantastic fixture. Good morning, FPL Sponge. Great to have you with us. And Rick Starr asks, Seiss or Varane? I would I think just longer term thinking, if you think you're going to want to triple up on Man United, you've got Shaw, Greenwood, Ronaldo, Bruno, all these players. I think Varane will score more points, but I think that Saiss is a good option as well. He's got very good attacking threat. On fantasyfootballhub.co.uk on our points prediction tool, Saiss is highest out of all Wolves defenders for the next 8 game weeks. Achilles asks, is Ronaldo starting today? That is the question on everyone's lips. If you ask me my thoughts, just based on what I've seen and what I've read and what I've heard, I just can't see a reason why he wouldn't start. Cavani isn't with the travelling squad, which is massive. He's the only real number 9 there, aside from Martial, who's out of favour, and Greenwood, who may play on that right hand side. So I personally think he starts. I am following a Twitter account actually who may give us a bit more information on whether he starts before 11 o'clock. So if we do get that, I will make sure to share that with everyone. Other big news, South Americans all cleared to play. So Rafinha, Jesus, Edison, Alisson, all those players can all play this weekend, which is great news. Really glad they sorted that out. It was a bit of a mess, that was, but they've managed to all sort it out. Jip Nahon says Fornals, Traore or Sarr. I'm personally taking a punt on Traore, although I do like Fornals. I tipped him last week as a differential. He's very, very involved, and just because Antonio and Benrahma have got like all the headlines, Fornals is silently just in there. Good morning, Rich P. Oi to you as well. Great to have you with us this morning. If you have any questions, please put some questions in the chat. Carl, I can't just review a whole wildcard team here while everyone is watching. But Josh Strange says Fergie -8 for CR7, Jota and Adama, and Brandon Williams or wildcard. I don't know how to feel about -8. I've taken a -8. I'll be showing you my team very, very soon. But I've got CR7 and Jota in my team. I just think, just in terms of -8, just to answer this question now. So I spoke about this on the Green Arrow on Tuesday, and my thoughts on a -8 at this stage of the season. Like, one, we have never seen a transfer in. Good morning, Gavinho. There's your wave, buddy. We have never seen a transfer in like Ronaldo before, especially mid-season, right? We've never seen. He's had 2 million transfers in, and we've also never had potentially the best player on the planet in the Premier League either. It's completely unprecedented. So I'm pretty, I'm pretty bullish on taking a -8. My thought is a -8 is not going to define your whole season, right? So I know, right? So I'm ranked 157k now, and I know I will obviously drop probably 100,000 places or more, right, before it even starts. But if I play my wild card and I don't feel I've got enough information, I don't think I've got a strong enough team to a wild card. If I did, that could affect me long term because I'm stuck with that team forever, right? Even with this -8, if it does go wrong after a couple of weeks, I'll still likely have a decent rank because I've got all the highly owned players covered. However, I've still got the wild card in the back pocket, and I'm really keen to jump on that Chelsea run in game week 7 or game week 8. I think it's just an absolutely fantastic run. Mazro says Ferran Torres or Mount. I actually like Mount. I think Mount is going to be he's definitely going to be in my wildcard team in game week 7. Torres potentially, in the shorter term maybe, because obviously Chelsea have got good fixture today, but then they have got a tough couple of fixtures. Akanoodles, morning Fergie. Wolves defensive thoughts, please. Saiss comes out top, I think personally. He's a good defender, and he's also got that attacking threat. Semedo seems to flatter to deceive. He does play high up on the right, but Saiss is so dangerous in the area, kind of like Zuma was at Chelsea last year, just on the end of everything, really lucky not to score so far this season already. I think it was cleared off the line. I think Saiss is worth the extra 0.5, or people like Cody and things like that. Would you start Cancelo or Rafinha? That's a good question as well, Warrit. I'd probably go for Cancelo personally. You've got the double-edged sword there of of the ability to potentially score attacking points as well as defensive points. So I would go with him there. And Rohit, well said, Fergie. -4, -8 won't define our season. Bang on, yeah. And well, that's just my point of view. I'm usually adverse to hits. I really am. But I just think this with Ronaldo is so different. Like, if he starts, he's such a fantastic, wonderful player with a brilliant fixture. And the atmosphere is going to be absolutely incredible. So I think he's worth it this week. I also want to game week 5 and 6, but I also think it's really important to note that I've got Jota in as well, and that for me is the important part. It's the two moves. It's not just squeezing Ronaldo in. Jota looks really, really good. Aid Mac, I'll get my team out in a second. Just a bit more team news. No, not to keep saying team news. Injury news. Calvert-Lewin, Benitez said yesterday, he has been training and playing. He's been kind of managing his pain. But I think there was positive enough comments that if you think that, if you're thinking of bringing him in, I personally wouldn't let the comments hold you back. I personally think he plays. Anil asks, Libermento versus Brandon Williams. I'm finding it hard to get excited about Brandon Williams. I go for Libermento. I just think he looks really, really dangerous. Plays for a better team. Norwich at the back. I just don't think they're going to keep many clean sheets. If Brandon Williams is a better player than Libermento, he might be, but this is FPL. It's all about points, and that's why I would just go for Libermento if you can afford him. A bit of news on Lukaku yesterday. So apparently he had a scan on his thigh. He's absolutely fine to play. So, if you're thinking of going with Lukaku, I think that's absolutely fine. Edwardinho has activated his wild card. I hope you activated it in the week and not this morning, because you've got 48 minutes to complete your wild card if you have. Nathan Wood, should I start Ben White or Semedo? I would go for... good question. I would go for Ben White this week. I just think they got a really good chance of a clean sheet this week. Dalam just asked, any opinions on DCL? I personally think he starts. I would love. He's the only player I haven't got in my team actually, which I really, really wish I had. I think he's going to have a fantastic month or two, especially now he's on penalties. Ahmed Tariq says Salah or Ronaldo captain. I think I'm personally going Ronaldo. I think Salah against Leeds, statistically wise and eye test wise so far this year, I think Salah could do some damage. But Leeds did tighten up in the second half last season at home. I think that's a really important thing to bear in mind, is that at home Leeds are a different animal from when they are away. Personally, Paul Jones in the chat, fantastic fantasy player. Exciting decision, but Cody, Ayling or White on wildcard, knowing you have to play one this week. I go for White and take the saving, Paul. I'm not sure he's gone down. He's gone down to 4.3, but I take the saving and go White. I just don't think they're very excited. He's nailed on to play 50 million. I probably prefer Ayling longer term. So in terms of going forward, I think Ayling is a better option, but for not this week, as you say. Ayling for longer term. Ben White personally. Cody, I just cannot get excited about Cody personally. Simon Oakland, Torres chance of playing 90 minutes after playing for Spain. Transfer for Greenwood. No. I think if you're holding Torres or Greenwood, just hold on to him. You don't want to be messing around there. You're just asking for trouble. Just ask Mark for Black Box what it's like taking out Torres. You don't take a player out like that. I'm saying that I've taken out Bruno Fernandes this week, but it's with good reason. I think Tom says madness dropping Fernandes to get Ronaldo. That's what I've done, mate. And I've thought about it long and hard. Let me tell you, for about the last kind of 11 or 12 days. I think that I've done it, but I've mainly done it as well because of the Jota move. I couldn't get to Jota without taking out Bruno, because I didn't want to take out Greenwood, Benrahma, Rafinha. So it was the only way to do it. So it was that which kind of pushed me over the edge onto the -8 to actually do it. I do think Ronaldo surely takes pens. He's just the main man. He's the main man. He's wherever he goes, he's a record breaker. He's an animal. So I personally think that I don't think anything will stop him. Maybe at the start there may be a bit of messing about and friendly banter and to and froing, but Ronaldo in the long term, I think, takes them. And I gotta be fair, I love Bruno. I love owning him in FPL, but does he scare anyone else when he runs up to take a penalty? Or I say run, I use the word run very, very loosely. He scares me to death. And Ronaldo is just, he's just the man, and he's a big time player, big moment player, and I think he's better then. Rick Starr says DCL or Antonio on a wild card. Oh, I'd go for both if you could, but if you're going for one, that's a tough one. I'd probably go for Calvert-Lewin, mainly because Antonio now may have some of his minutes managed going forward as they are. As they're in Europe, and Everton's long stretch of fixtures is better than West Ham's as well. So if I was to pick from now, well, obviously Antonio's been incredible up until now. If I was to pick going forward now, I would say that I would probably go for Calvert-Lewin moving forward over Antonio. Calvert-Lewin is definitely on penalties as well. We're not sure now. Obviously Antonio missed his last penalty, so we're not sure who's on penalty for West Ham. So hopefully that answers. Kevin May asks, is Son playing? It looks like he is unlikely to play. I think Nuno said yesterday it's not looking good basically. So I haven't got Son. If I've got Son with all the options all around us, I would, and Kane actually there and staying and playing now, so Son's not going to be on penalties, anything like that. I personally think I'd personally move him on. Maybe not this week if you sorted your team out already. Maybe have a look for next week. But I just think there's so many better options personally in that mid price range and that kind of 7.5 range. I think there's loads there. Mark Cram, I triggered my wild card and gone without Ronaldo. Am I crazy? Use extra million to upgrade elsewhere and captain Lukaku today. No, I don't. I don't think you're crazy at all. I think it is a 50-50. I think Lukaku will do well, over the coming weeks. I'm definitely looking at getting him in for game week 7, I think, regardless, which is, again, another reason why I kind of went for Ronaldo, to put the placeholder in place to get Lukaku in one move in game week 7 as well. Sugam says Alonso or Shaw. You got to go for Shaw there, mate. Alonso may not play. Shaw has also got a fantastic game home to Newcastle. And Wilson is out injured as well, right? So I would go for Shaw, definitely. Matthew Theron, so those asking about Calvert-Lewin, what Benitez has said, he's been training and playing through a bit of, kind of managing pain, but I think they were positive comments. And you know what? Worst case, even if he doesn't start on Monday, doesn't play on Monday, you've got a bench player, you've still got him in your team there. So I'd personally go for DCL. He's the only player, as I say, I wish I had, who I haven't got. 42 minutes left until the deadline. Rizzle asks Sarr or Traore. I'm pretty high on Traore, I got to be honest. I just think that Wolves have been incredibly unlucky. How they haven't scored, I don't know. Their XG is nearly 5 goals and they've scored 0. And I know that's down to finishing and all this stuff. And I know that people always look back to Traore's records and they say, he's only scored this, that, and the other. Players develop, right? You can't just look at past records to determine what will happen in the future. Maybe Ronaldo being the exception, right? So I think with Traore, you've only got to watch him to see how dangerous he looks. I think Sarr is a really good option too, but I'm pretty excited about Traore. They've got an incredible run of fixtures, really good price. If I was wildcard, he would be in my team. David H says, Arsenal have a great run of fixtures. Aubameyang an option. I think he's an incredible differential option. When I looked in the week, he was only about kind of between 1 or 2% owned, and that is a plum home fixture today against Norwich. And and Arsenal are the kind of team, and he's the kind of player. There's not many players in the leagues. There's not many players in the league who you can get really, really excited about in terms of scoring a couple of goals in a game. He's on penalties, fantastic player, great fixture. I think he's a decent move. I think there are better options, but especially for a 1 week punt this week, I don't see any harm in it at all. Mohamed Salah, apparently it's the real Mohamed Salah, is asking Greenwood or Torres. If I was making a transfer this week, I would probably go for Torres. I think Greenwood's minutes. I do think that Greenwood, he's been absolutely superb. I think he plays today, but I do think moving forward potentially with, like I say, there's all Cavani, Martial, Pogba, all that sort of thing. I think there's more. I think there's more risk, and I think with Torres, he will get benched at times. But when he does play, he plays number 9 up front. So I would personally go for Torres. Sanket Shah says Ronaldo or Salah captain. I'm going for Ronaldo personally, but it's a tough it's a tough call. If Ronaldo starts, I think he's a better option personally. Let's have a look at my team. 40 minutes left. Let's show my team for game week 4. And here it is. So I've got Sanchez in goals. I have got Trent, Luke Shaw, and Vladimir Sufal as a back 3. I've got Rafinha, Greenwood, Jota. I've brought in Jota or Jota. I can never remember. Apologies to any of the Portuguese out there who constantly correct me. Mohamed Salah is my vice captain and Ben Rama. So I've got a really, really strong midfield 5. And I've brought in Cristiano Ronaldo as captain. And I've got Antonio at the moment on my bench. I've got Libermento, Alien and Richardson. Not really sure on the bench should have been Libermento and Alien. I've gone for Libermento just because I feel they have a better chance of a clean sheet than Leeds do. So I've made a -8. And the -8 I made was... So I took out Tsimikas for Libermento. I did it last week before Simicas's drop. And all week I've been so torn on what to do. I think it's been so hard on what to do this week. As I mentioned earlier, I think I've taken a -8, and it's not just to get Ronaldo in. So I've gone Bruno and Ings, Jota and Ronaldo. And if it was just to do the Ronaldo, if I was like downgrading Bruno to a 4.5 or something like that, I probably wouldn't have done it. But it's a fact I'm getting Jota in with the deal as well. He's definitely going to play this week. I won't be surprised if he plays next week, even the week after. They've got 3 superb fixtures now. They've got Leeds, Crystal Palace and Brentford, Liverpool have. So, I really like those fixtures. If he plays in that, number 9 role up front, I think he'd be absolutely superb. Same as Ronaldo. And I'm going for Ronaldo captain. A little bit of a risk maybe. I think if there was a definite, a really good standout option that would maybe take Ronaldo's place, such as Bruno, for example, I may captain another person. But then I suppose if I wasn't captaining, I probably wouldn't have brought him in and bringing him in to captain. I wouldn't have made a -8 to bring in a 12.5 million player, not captain them. So I would personally, my advice if I were you, if you are taking hits to bring Ronaldo in, if you're not captaining him, I would rethink personally, because I just think what are you doing? Even if he scores, a goal, a goal and an assist, you're probably not going to captain him next week, potentially not even the week after. So if you're not going to captain him, I think it's worth thinking about that there. Mark Wakefield says I got 6.1 for a mid. Trincao, Sarr, Fornals or Gray. I think Trincao look good. The only thing is with Podence back, I think that Podence will start to take minutes off Trincao. I think he's look good. I also prefer Traore personally. Sarr, Fornals or Gray. Out of those 4, I quite like Fornals, especially if you haven't got Ben Rama. I think if you've got Ben Rama, I probably wouldn't, but I quite like Fornals. The only problem is, I kind of mentioned earlier, West Ham embark on their European adventure this week too, so we may see a few managed minutes. There are more chances of players getting injured. Out of those, I would actually say Traore. I prefer Traore. I'd probably go for Sarr just. Gray looks pretty decent as well. I haven't seen an awful lot of Gray. I think he's a decent option, but I'm just a bit more excited about Traore personally. I know it's going to come back and bite me on the arse, but it's what we're here for, to give opinions. Sean Miller says Shaw or Luke Dean. I think I go for Luke Shaw. I just especially he's on all set pieces as well. Or most of them anyway, in terms of corners and free kicks from that left hand side. I would personally go for Shaw. Obviously got a fantastic chance of a couple of clean sheets in the next 2 or 3 as well. Mazraoui says Mount or Jota. I go for Jota. Mazraoui. I've got Jota in. Andy Gray. Did I say Andy Gray? I hope I didn't say Andy Gray. I obviously meant to Murray Gray. I hope I didn't say Andy Gray earlier. TMZ, Bruno Ings, Ronaldo and Torres Mountworth -4. I think so. If you're going to captain Ronaldo, if you're not going to captain Ronaldo, I don't think it's worth it. A7 did Son, Fernandes and Tony out, Ronaldo, Jota and Greenwood in. I think that's worth it, buddy. I would do those moves if I were you. Absolutely. Johannes asks, what if Bruno hauls and Ronaldo blanks? Well, what can you do? you just carry on, don't you? I mean, everything is what ifs, right? So what if Ings scores a hat trick? What can you do? You can't do anything. You just have to be comfortable with the decision you've made. You can say that about absolutely anything every single week. So I just don't worry if that happens, which it might. It absolutely might. If it happens, we made the wrong choice, but what can we do? We just move on. So I wouldn't get too worried about that personally. Tom Mann, do I take a -8? Bruno and Lukaku to Ronaldo and Jota. Bruno and Lukaku. I'm not sure I could take Lukaku out. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do Bruno and Lukaku out. I would just captain either Bruno or Lukaku there personally. I've taken out Ings, so I think I'm happy with that. But I think I wouldn't be doing that, mate. Especially for a -8. Bruno and Lukaku could definitely outscore Ronaldo and someone else this week, so I would do that. Chris Taylor, Fergie hooked Bruno, Ings and Obafemi for CR7, Gray and Pooh. I like the Poogie shout. I think he's predicted to score a few points in this next few weeks. I think he's a good shout there. Josh Dawes, Son and Ings out for Ronaldo and Traore, but I still have Bruno. Good move, Josh. I think that's a fantastic move. I'm very, very jealous, actually. I wish I could still have Bruno in my team. I mean, Dalam says, any opinions on Norwich defenders as they have a good run of fixtures? I just don't know why you would look at a Norwich defenders ahead of there's plenty of cheap 4.5s for Leeds, Arsenal, Wolves, even like Christensen is 5 million. I don't know why you would look at Norwich defenders. Personally, I just think it's a waste of a transfer, really. Personally, because you'll end up they may get an odd clean sheet, but you're going to be nervous of starting them every week. They will concede in most games. I personally think it's a little bit of a waste. Just to confirm a few of the a little bit more of the press conferences. So those that have been confirmed out. Firmino definitely out for game week 4, which is which part of the reason why I've brought in Jota. Lamptey out, Buendia and Martinez both out after their antics in South America. Callum Wilson and Ryan Fraser both out for Newcastle. Pulisic is on crutches for Chelsea, which probably enhances the chances of Havertz and Mount and stuff. So I think that's good for Havertz, Mount. Obviously not not good for Pulisic himself. Kante is also out. It'd be interesting to see who takes his place against Villa today. De Vrij is out. It's too soon for Foden, but Foden is back in training. Son will most likely be out, and Rashford is still out. Emile Smith-Rowe for Arsenal might play. If you are on Smith-Rowe, I'd probably start him. In all honesty, he's had a bit of an illness, but I think there were some positive comments yesterday. I'd personally start Smith-Rowe. I mean, if you're not going to start him home to Norwich, when are you going to start him, right? Darlow might potentially play, but Woodman, if there is needed. Johnny Evans, Seamus Coleman, and Kevin De Bruyne. We might see an appearance from the Ginger Prince today, which would be very, very interesting. And confirmed fit Gabriel, Partey, and White. So Arsenal are going to strengthen. They are 3 massively important players for Arsenal. We could see signings playing at the back I see that personally as the long-term partnership at the back there, and Partey is also a really good player there as well. Ryan Bertrand is back for Leicester after his COVID isolation. Almiron is fit and can play. Van Dijk, Lukaku, and just interestingly for Aston Villa, Leon Bailey and Ollie Watkins are both back for Aston Villa there as well. Mohamed Aizen asks about Ferran Torres. I think it's a great option. I've said on Green Arrow for the last 2 weeks, I think Torres is a fantastic option, and I think that if I could get to him, I think if I was wildcarding this week, I would definitely have him this week. I do think Jota is a better option this particular week, and maybe for the next 2 or 3, which is why I've got them. But if I was wildcarding, I'd very, very likely try and find a way to get him in my team. I think really good run. He's there already. Then you don't have to think about getting in more Man City players. Official Caden says Adama or Greenwood. I think you have to go for Greenwood first there. I think United, I don't know, but I can see United putting a few past Newcastle. I can see Greenwood playing a lot of minutes as well, and I think he's gonna have another really good game week. Albert says, will Jimenez play? I believe so. I believe they have all been cleared, and the Mexican authorities, I think, have cleared Jimenez to play. So yeah, I would go for Jimenez. I think he's a really good option. I think the Calvert-Lewin is probably a better option longer term, but yeah. Simon Gurung asks, Harry Kane, anyone? Interesting one there. No, we haven't mentioned Harry Kane. I just think with all the premium options available, like away to Palace could be a decent fixture, even though, Palace look to be slowly improving. I do think that, if you've got Kane, it's a hard sell against Palace, right? I think who they got next week? Spurs as well. Mind you, in game weeks 5 and 6, they've got Chelsea and Arsenal. Maybe this is why people aren't looking at Kane. They're just coming to this little end of their mini run. From game week 7 onwards, Spurs do have some lovely fixtures: Villa, Newcastle, West Ham, a few more after that, and especially from game week 13, Burnley, Brentford, and Norwich. I think that's the time. Game week 14, back-to-back Spurs at home, Brentford and Norwich. That's the time we will see Harry Kane in a lot of teams. Rune asks, Greenwood or Pogba? So hard. Pogba the assist king, he is, but Greenwood just plays further up the pitch. I always say it. I test. Greenwood always plays further up the pitch. I go for Greenwood personally. Nothing wrong with Pogba, but he's with I think for Fred and McTominay potentially out today, Pogba may move back into double pivot as well. Greenwood just he just plays further up the pitch. He's absolutely rapid. I go for him personally. Mohamed Akal, Ronaldo and Grealish for Ings and Bruno, or Ronaldo and Jota, Diaz for Ings, Bruno, and a -4. Sorry, I'm not quite reading that properly. I don't think. I think all I think is if you're getting Ronaldo in, I would only get Ronaldo in if you're going to captain him. I wouldn't do it otherwise, because you are not going to captain him in game week 5. Away to West Ham, or it's very unlikely, especially when Salah has a home game to Crystal Palace, I believe. Game week 6, you could potentially captain him at home to Villa, but there are some really good options. Everton at home to Norwich, for example, and Liverpool have also got a good fixture against Brentford, I believe, as well. So, and then United's fixtures stiffen them for game week 7: Everton, Leicester, Liverpool, Spurs, and Man City. So if you're not going to captain Ronaldo today, I'd probably not look to get him in personally. Just confirm the top transfers in for this game week. Ronaldo, when I took this about half an hour ago, he's been brought in by nearly 2 million teams. Absolutely incredible. Ferran Torres has been brought in by over 1.1 million teams after his 8-pointer last week. If you listened to Green Arrow a couple of weeks ago, you could have got in and got his points early. This is the whole point. People are jumping on them now when they scored their points. The whole thing of fantasy football is trying to preempt what is going to happen, not looking at previous performance and saying, oh, that is definitely going to happen again. It doesn't work like that. I think that is what's happening with a lot of people with Torres. Antonio being brought in by 900,000 teams. My goodness, those who missed out on Antonio early doors have been very, very unfortunate, so we say. And Tamari Gray brought in by 750,000 teams, quite a lot, and Ben Rama 663,000 teams there as well. So they're the top 5 transfers in for the week. Top transfers out. Listen to this: Bruno Fernandes, who a lot of people actually held, including myself, for the Game Week 4 captaincy at home to Newcastle, definitely going to play at home to Newcastle, has been taken out of over 1.1 million teams. Absolutely sensational. And I checked yesterday. And his ownership had gone down from like 55% to about 45%. It's probably lower again today with people doing it. James Clark just asking to do the -8. I did, James. I've taken the -8. I just, had to make a decision at the end of it. And, it's ridiculous. Not like losing sleep, right? But just constantly on my mind. It's just 8 fantasy points at the end of the day. And, I was happy with the moves. So I just did it in the end. I'm quite happy there. Ings has been taken out as well of a million teams. So a very popular move this week looks to be Fernandes and Ings out for Ronaldo and Torres. Martinez has been taken out by nearly 900,000 teams. Son has been taken out by nearly 700,000 teams. And Tsimikas has also gone. Bear in mind, Tsimikas is one of the most transferred in players for Game Week 4. Tohidur says, Cody or Marçal. I'd probably go for Cody for safety of start. I'm not sure that Marçal will keep his place long term. Personally, they've got a couple of players out, whereas Cody is obviously absolutely nailed to play Keen Krog says Traore Sarr. I'm just big on Traore. I love him in terms of his stats and the eye test. I think Traore, I think he's going to have. I think he's going to have a good few weeks, and if he'd have been more clinical, if he even scored one of the goals which he should have scored, or maybe one of the assists, his expected points, he scored 6 and his expected points are 17, right? He's been unfortunate or not, or unclinical, whatever you want to say. Frozen73, -8 for Semedo, Ronaldo and Jota in place of Tsimikas, Bruno and Ings. If you're going to captain Ronaldo, Frozen, I would personally do it. If you're not going to captain Ronaldo, I probably wouldn't personally. I think that's my overwhelming theme. I don't see the point in bringing Ronaldo for a -8, because then even if Ronaldo scores and gets bonus, your -8 is just cancelled out, right? So the reason I'm doing it is because of the captaincy. Ethan says, I've still got Harvey Barnes, who's against City, but I have Bissouma on the bench, so I start Bissouma. Absolutely not. I would never start Bissouma. He's just there for bench fodder. Harvey Barnes, if you remember when they played in the Community Shield, Harvey Barnes looked pretty good against Man City. Never really play a 4.5 million player personally. Varane goal, thoughts on Ferran Torres? I think he's a fantastic option. I really think you do. I think he's a great option. I've gone for Jota just purely because I think Jota is far more likely to start the next 2 or 3 games. Every single with Firmino out definitely for game week 4. Jota is definitely going to start up front at this afternoon against Leeds or tomorrow, whenever it is, against Leeds. And they have Palace and Brentford. Harry Dawson, stop saying things like everyone is benched because you don't know, Harry. You don't know DCL is benched. You don't know Ronaldo's benched. Please don't put that shit in this stream, thanks. Jordan Stahl says, do you think I should start Barnes or start Duffy? Not the most exciting dilemma there, Jordan. I would probably I go for Barnes. Personally. I think I'm just not sure with Duffy that they will keep a clean sheet. Brentford have looked all right, so I would personally start Barnes. I always try and play the attacker in these things. On these kind of not low budget or medium budget ones, I always say to play the attacker, just because if they concede a goal, it's largely unlikely that they're going to get an attacker one. Mind you, I'd say that next time last time someone asked me whether to bring Duffy in or not, and I said not to. He'd actually score and they got a clean sheet, so make of that what you will. Fluck, should I sell Arnold, and who will be better with Ronaldo, Pogba? I don't know why anyone would sell Trent. I just think he's probably, he's in the top 4 or 5 players in the whole game. Just leave him in all season. He's an animal, and he's playing a lot more like Cancelo was for Man City last season. If you look at his assist he did for Mane a couple of game weeks ago, I mean, what's he doing there, right? He's a right back supposedly, but he keeps drifting forward into these midfield spots. So I think he's a great pick. I definitely wouldn't take him out. Cavino, a couple of decent in the know accounts on Twitter, not confirming now confirming Ronaldo starts, but with no Cavani in the squad. So there is an account on Twitter, right? It's up to you if you want to follow them. It's up to you if you want to follow them. Okay, I follow them, and I think they're very good. Now, from what I've seen on Twitter, they're called Football Intelligence Unit. They're at unit_football. Now, I follow them. Now, I'm not saying whether you should do this or let it affect your decisions or not. However, this chap has just retweeted someone called @BIR Insights to say CR7 starts for Man United this afternoon, and wait for it, he is also on penalty duty on his debut. So according to the only person I trust outside of FPL Rockstar, it says that Ronaldo starts this afternoon, and potentially also looks like he's on penalty duties on his debut. Now, make of that what you will, but I would follow them. He has been right before is all I'm saying. Mark Corner, hi Fergie, late up this morning, probably gone over it, but if you had both, who would you captain, Ronaldo or Lukaku? If you had both, wow, why do you have both? It just gives you a headache. I go for Ronaldo, I think. I think I go for Ronaldo, but by having both, giving yourself a bit of a headache there. Apologies earlier, someone at Aish, could you show your fixture chart? Really interested how it looks. Where did you buy it from? Apologies, I can't actually bring it up. I haven't got it set up. But if you want to look yourself, it is on fantasyfootballhub.co.uk, and it is on there under fixtures. It's a hub membership, right? So you have to become a hub member to do it. There is a link in the description below to join as a hub member if you want. It is in there. You can configure it, customize it any way you want, but it is in it, and it is absolutely fantastic. I use it for absolutely everything. Rohit, should I sell Barnes? You know, if you're looking to bring in someone like Jota or Torres or someone like that, I would say yes. Personally, especially Jota, I think that Jota will do well in these next couple of weeks. Personally, I brought him in. Neen says Antonio got some difficult fixtures. Who is his direct replacement? I go for Calvert-Lewin. I say Calvert-Lewin, and NA7 is DCL playing. I think he does. Just based on what I heard yesterday, if I was to hang my hat on it, I think he does play. He's been managing through pain, and stuff, and but he's actually said he expects more from him. Yes, Rohit, please stop spamming, or I will block you on here. I've just answered your question there, Rohit. Please don't do it, I'll block you. Kingsley asks, Bruno and Ings out for Lukaku and Traore with a -4. It's a tough one, that is, because it means you wouldn't have a United attacker. I'd do it for Ronaldo and Ings, without a doubt. And Carbonera, hey Fergie, what's your next game week plans? I've got to be honest, I haven't massively thought a lot past this week. Now, I do like Ferran Torres for next week. They've got a tough fixture this week against Leicester, but next week they have got Southampton at home, which could be an absolutely mint fixture. But I also want Calvert-Lewin, so I'm really not sure. I've got to be honest. I haven't really thought past this game week. Really, there's even a potential to kind of wildcard after. I probably won't if I'm taking a -8 this week. I'm interested in Calvert-Lewin, but I can't get to him without downgrading Ronaldo. I'm also interested in Ferran Torres, who I could get to via Greenwood or Jota. United have got West Ham and Villa next. I could do Greenwood to Ferran Torres next week for free. That's what I would currently say. But as you say, we've got all week to decide there. I am lethal. Torres or Grealish? Do we not think Torres is due a rest? Yeah, but in FPL, it's not just a one game week, right? So I would say I think Grealish flats to deceive a lot in terms of his FPL returns, whereas Torres, every time he plays, he usually returns. So I think if you're thinking of if you're thinking of one game week, I think it is a tough one. If you're thinking of the next 4, 5, 6, 7 game weeks, I would go for Torres over Grealish personally. He will frustrate, but he will also haul as well. So I would think of it, how many points do you think they will score over a period of 6 game weeks is normally how I tend to look at a transfer in. Aish says, asks Cody or Semedo. Out of those two, I'd go for Semedo. Aniket, White or Dunk. Out of those two, I'd probably go for Dunk, just because he's got more attacking threat. The fixtures are still good. Mwante, Tierney, Shaw, TAA in a 3-4-3. I like that. That is strong. That is Mwant. Very good indeed. Jonas, will Kilman start? I haven't got a clue. Sorry, buddy. I think it depends on whether Bolly is back. Esborn is taking the -8 this game. It's worth it for Ronaldo. Look at my team, buddy. That's exactly what I've just done. I think it's worth it. I'm only one man. I'm only one player. It is up to you if you think it's worth it. I think it's probably worth it. And Cavino, thoughts on Tony to DCL for a -4. Also done Bruno to Ings to Torres CR7 for free. I think I'd do it, Cavino. I think I would, because he's in. And if you don't do it this week, you want to do it next week, which leaves you behind the curve. I think I would do it if you want him in kind of long term, personally. I think Calvert-Lewin is a fantastic option. I wish I could get him in my team this week, but I just couldn't do it without even more surgery. Dave Chambo, Van Dijk and Walker, or Trent and Ayling. Trent and Ayling all day long there. For me, Dave Chambo, 100% Trent and Ayling there. Do you enjoy our content? If you do enjoy our content, this channel has been nominated in the Fantasy Football category in the upcoming Football Content Awards. If you do enjoy our content and want to vote for us in the FCAs, it only takes a few seconds, and any votes are much appreciated. There is a link in the description below for our YouTube watchers. You can also go to footballcontentawards.com/voting and go to the fancy football section. It literally takes about 10 seconds. If you have enjoyed this stream, if you enjoy our streams every single week, could you just do me two things? It will take about 10 seconds in total to do. Could you please like the stream? Firstly, it would be so much appreciated. And could you also go in the link below for the Football Content Awards and vote for Fantasy Football Hub and vote for the Green Arrow podcast in the fantasy football sections. It would mean the world to us, honestly. Thank you so much if you do that. Right, I've got chance for I've got about 4 minutes left before I hop off, so let's just see if we have any more questions. Jibin, Trincao or Traore or Gray? I'm quite high on Traore. In that order, I would go Traore, Gray, and then Trincao. Khaled asked Duffy or Williams. I would go for Duffy. Anil brought in Ronaldo and captain him. Same for me, Anil. I've done the same thing there. Javier, best 4.5 million defender. I think moving forward, I quite like Luke Ayling. Not for this game week specifically, but for the next few game weeks. Newcastle, West Ham, Watford, Southampton, Wolves, Norwich. That is a great run of fixtures. So I really like Ayling for the next 6 or 7 game weeks. Maybe not this game week. Kyan, Ings to DCL or Ings Greenwood to CR7 and Torres. All depends to me. If you're going to captain Ronaldo, if you're going to captain Ronaldo, I would look to get him in. If you're not going to captain him, I would go the other way personally. Henrik says, will DCL play today? Well, he's actually playing on Monday, but I think just from what we saw yesterday, he starts. Personally, just on what Benitez said yesterday. Nick says Semedo or Damari Gray, back 3 versus back 4. Out of those two, I would go for Damari Gray, Nick. Personally, if you're going for that. Fluky, who is better with Ronaldo, Pogba or Greenwood? I would go for Greenwood, personally. I just think he's much more attacking than Pogba. I believe Fred and McTominay are both out, so Pogba may find himself back in centre midfield. I would personally go, but I can see Pogba. I can see him stepping up with Ronaldo there. Me and my best bud. We're the best players in the world. Here you go, Ronaldo. He's a little clip through the middle, but I do like Greenwood. Greenwood, he seems to fashion goals from not great chances as well. So I like Greenwood. I'm really happy, even though I haven't got Bruno. I'm really happy to have two of the front three, in that United team. And in my opinion, the best two of the front three. Sancho hasn't done a lot yet. Is Richarlison underrated? He has good shots per 90. He is the only thing which I think not the only thing. I think that Calvert-Lewin, is a fantastic option anyway, but he's on pens as well. So this is why I would go now for Calvert-Lewin. Dalam, thank you, Fergie. Good luck to you and everyone else. Absolutely, good luck to everyone this game week. I really hope that everyone has a fantastic game week this week. Want to say Fred is there. I may have confused it as part of the Brazilian contingent with all the news yesterday. With players not available and stuff. But I prefer Greenwood over Pogba personally. Fergie, I recommend chat slow mode. Stop spammers. Send it. I did do it on Tuesday on Green Arrow. I forgot to do it. I should do it. Absolutely right. Thank you, John. Really appreciate that. Oliver Marshall, Reguilon or Shaw? Shaw all day. Spurs fixtures of the next few are not that good. In game week 5 they got Chelsea, then they're away to Arsenal. Shaw home to Newcastle this game week. I go for Shaw definitely. And United's fixtures next 4, they play 3 of the next 4 at home against Newcastle, Villa and Everton. I'm high United for the next through, and I think as well, we should underestimate the actual bounce that Ronaldo will bring to that United team. I really hope, from an FPL perspective, that we see. I would love to see a United 5 Newcastle 0 scoreline this afternoon. Shaw with a nice assist, Ronaldo a couple of goals, Greenwood with the other. We will see. Mustafa, Greenwood or Jota or both if you can, Mustafa, for these next 2 or 3 games. I think they're both fantastic options. The next 2 or 3, as you can see on the screen, they are both in my team. Gaming Focus asks if Ronaldo's starting. According to one of my few trusted sources, And like I say, follow this if you want, at unit_football. He is only, after FPL Rockstars, the only other person really who seems to get really, really good information. So I think he is starting based on that, because he has confirmed he is. And thank you for everyone that has liked the stream, and thank you so much also for everyone who has voted. Like I say, do really, really appreciate it. Wanty, you're a United fan too. I'm not. I'm actually a Spurs fan, believe it or not. Got no Spurs players in my team, but we are top of the league. What can I say? That's what's important. So we're top of the league. Okay, we're going to wrap up, guys. If you have enjoyed, as I say, please like. Richard says, just finally, Raya or Carson. Don't get Carson in, Richard. Edison is playing. Don't get Carson. So if you're tossed up between those two, go for Raya. If you have enjoyed this stream, please press the like button. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, right under here, at FFH_Fergie. Also, make sure you follow at FFH_HQ. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you can do in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Our handles on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok are at FFH_HQ. Make sure you follow us for elite fantasy football and fantasy Premier League content. Our website is fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. where you will find everything you need, including everything you need for Fantasy Premier League, all under one roof, including player comparison tools, the fixture ticker, as mentioned earlier, Opta-Stats, top player team reveals, the best FPL managers in the world reveal their teams pre-deadline for everyone, points prediction tools, and much, much more. Join the tens of thousands of other fantasy managers and sign up to the hub. Use all our amazing resources. Click the top link in the description below. Promise you will not regret it. I'll be back before the next deadline. I think it's next Friday. So it'll be, what will it be? It'll be 5:30 p.m. BST next Friday. I'll be back then to chat through everything. Game week 5. Look forward to it. Have an amazing game week 4, and may all your arrows be green. Goodbye for now.